up your heart, what do you feel? Open up your heart, what do you feel? Is it real? The Big Bang may be a million years.
Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for being here. Señora Vibes is coming in strong, season 11. I'm super excited to be here and making it happen for y'all. Sometimes recording these episodes is not easy. I used to really spend a lot more time planning them out, making sure everything was perfect. But honestly, I've been working a lot more. I've been taking on some new roles. And one of those roles is as an adjunct faculty for student teachers at the University of Houston downtown. So that's really cool. I used to do that from 2006 to 2014. So I did that for a long time. Then I went and I opened my own business. And now one thing that I had told myself this year is that I'm going to go back to doing something that I really love and that I had lost, connection with, and that's teaching. So I definitely, when the opportunity came around and they called me from the University of Houston and asked me if I was, interested in coming back, I think it was like a sign that, my heart needed that. And so I said yes. And it's been so fantastic and wonderful because my students are just the most amazing students. They're so smart, bright, just hardworking, very driven. They know what they want to do. They're just amazing young women. I have most of them. Wait, hold on. All of them are women. So young in their early 20s and just, with all the hopes in their eyes for a teaching career. And so that makes me super happy. And I'm just super grateful that I'm there for that. And so a little segue from teaching is a thing that I just thought about the other day as I was conducting my observations of them. And I give them feedback all the time on some of the things that they're doing and how they can improve as they're teaching. I started thinking, what are 5 teaching tips that I can give you all that that I give my student teachers and that you can use in your own life and your business. So I think these are 5 things that you could definitely most certainly use in your own life. And these are tips and advice because if you know anything about me as a teacher, I'm always going to give you some feedback. I'm going to always give you some tips and some ideas on how you can work some of these things. So number 1, modeling. So when you're trying to make a point or getting someone to do something you want, you should definitely model it. And I tell my students this all the time. I say, well, what is it that you want to see? Show me what that looks like. And so once they visualize and they model for themselves what they want their students to do, it just becomes so much easier for them to be able to teach whatever they're teaching and the kids to grasp it as well. So even for you in your life, as you're going about your business or trying to talk to your family or people, whoever it is, model it and see if that helps. And if you're trying to get a point across, if you're trying to maybe make a pitch, maybe you're trying to call somebody and you're just nervous about it, model it with someone else, go over it, do like a role play. And that helps a lot because it really prepares you to just be ready to face any questions anybody else may have. So that's one of those first tips that I tell my students. So, model it for yourself and then see if that helps and your students might be able to get it. Number 2, walk and speak with confidence. So as a teacher, you definitely want to walk with authority. A lot of them feel like they're so young. The kids just see them as like young teachers, but that means you have to speak with confidence and show how good you are as an instructor. Yeah, I was a professor when I was in my late 30s, and I had to walk into rooms as a professor in front of other professors. And so the only way that I was able to achieve respect or achieve a sense of self in the room was by walking in with confidence. And the one thing I do tell my students is so confidence is like a muscle. You have to work it and you have to strengthen it. No one, walks around with confidence all the time. I mean, it's very rare, but I think I definitely do want to give you all like that idea that you can definitely do it with your body language, your voice, commanding voice, and also soothing. I think when your voice is soothing, it also helps, to walk around and feel confident in yourself. The other thing I told my student the other day, I said, well, visualize someone that think of somebody that that's very confident, and what do they do? And so maybe mimic a little bit of what they do and how they walk and how they speak. So visualize that person and see that person in you when you walk into the classroom and you're talking to your kids. All right, number 3, use your sense of humor to set a tone when speaking in front of a group. So a lot of times you're in front of a group, especially when you're a teacher and you're in front of the kids and stuff, and they're looking at you with these big bright eyes. And, you want to sort of break the ice. Just say something funny, have a sense of humor. I definitely, break the ice with my students when I tell them that, well, back when I was a teacher, we used to be observed with this big camcorder that somebody would come in and record us. And they were like, what? When was this? It's like, oh, way long time ago. Or, I'll mention to them, how things have changed and how, we didn't have social media back when I was a teacher and nobody knew my business. And now they have social media. So I'm like, conduct yourself, because now people can see who you are and now they'll know you. So, it's just a little bit of like fun, banter with my students. So use your sense of humor when you're setting a tone. Find something funny that you can bring up. Maybe be a little self-deprecating. I think that's always a good icebreaker when you're in front of a group, especially if you're nervous. And so my students get very nervous when they're presenting because I have to come in and observe them and give them a grade for that. All right, number 4, be organized. Oh my gosh, you have to be organized. And this happens in your world and everything that you do. You have to be organized, because if you're not organized, you're easily distracted and then you're not focused anymore. Things can more easily go wrong because you did not plan ahead and you did not organize your time. You didn't allow yourself some breathing room. So, people always ask me how I do so much. And the way that I do so much is that I really remove distractions. And I'm kind of known for having like my checklist. I have a checklist. Everybody who works with me knows that I have a checklist, and I'm constantly checking things off. So the night before, I will sit in bed and I have my little notebook, and I'll just make a list of everything that I need to do the next day. And early in the morning, I'm up very early and I'm tackling most of those things very early in the morning, and then I organize my day accordingly. But I organize everything ahead of time. So if, for example, today I had a team meeting, I had my students, I had my podcast, I had to go get some things, some gifts for a birthday party that I'm going to tomorrow. So that whole list I created last night, and I was like, okay, so I've got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I stick to it. I don't let anything distract me. And if something pops up, I'm just like, okay, I can't do that. So I'm very good at just saying no if I have to say no, so that I can accomplish the things that I need to accomplish. I think the way we get distracted is somebody calls you and they need something and they're like, oh, okay, well, I'll do it for you. Well, I can't, I'll try, unless you're my parents or somebody that really needs me desperately. I will put things down and go. But honestly, no. If I'm on a goal and I have a mission and I'm doing things, I'm sticking to it. So my list could be 5 or 6 things, and early in the morning I get up and I get most of it done, and then throughout the day I plan myself out so that I have the time for that. And definitely, because I'm working so much now, I don't have the time that I used to have for like myself. So I haven't done workouts in like 3 weeks now. I haven't done my hair as frequently as I used to. There's just so many things that I just stopped doing because I just don't have enough time anymore. But it's okay like that. I'm not gonna like really fuss about that. I mean, it was fantastic when I had that opportunity. I don't anymore, so I don't like beat myself over that. And it's really kind of silly stuff, anyways. It's not like it's super important. Definitely, it's difficult, especially if I'm like doing my podcast episodes. I just want to make sure that I have the time, and I make the time for it. So okay, that's number 4. So that was organizing. So number 5. Okay, it goes back to organizing and being over-prepared, and role-playing, I think, is super important, because if you're making a presentation, or if you're pitching, if you're conducting some sort of experiment, if you're planning an event, if you're going somewhere, I would say one of the things that I tell my students is over-prepare, because that way when something doesn't go right, which things will not go right, especially when you're in a classroom, there's 25 kids in there, something's definitely not going to go. But the best way to control all of that is to be prepared, to have things in place, to have systems, so that when the minute the students walk in, there's something for them to do. The minute they sit down, there's something for them to do. Everything is structured and organized. So please really take those tips, apply them, because I can promise you that you will probably get a lot more done by doing this than by winging it. Like I'm not a winger. I don't wing anything. I'm over prepared, and I'm always happy to be over prepared, because if something doesn't go right, I always know that I have a backup, or that if it doesn't go right, well, at least I know I put all of my effort into making it, as seamless as possible. Yesterday I was at an event at a luncheon, and I walked in and I had like my cute dress and my shoes, and I had just gone into the restroom to change because I was coming from work. So I packed my shoes, I packed the dress, and this lovely lady that was sitting with me, she was like, "Oh, I love your dress, I love your shoes." I said, "Oh, thank you." I said I had to pack them up and go into the restroom and change because I'm coming from work, and this is a beautiful luncheon where I have to dress a little bit more appropriate. She was like, "Wow, like that much effort to look like that?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "It takes a ton of effort to look effortless." And so, yeah, that is really, really the reality and the truth behind it. People will say, "No, you don't really have to do all of that." Well, I mean, it just depends on how, your standards and how high you hold yourself. And for me, it's super important to always be at my very, very best, because that's just me. I just like to be at my very best in everything that I do. Sometimes it comes through and sometimes it doesn't, but at least I know I put every effort to look effortless. Okay, so those are the 5: modeling, walking and speaking with confidence, using your sense of humor, being organized and over prepared. So if those help you, and you implement them, and you go back home or you go to your work or whatever you're doing, and you're saying, "Oh my gosh, those tips that she gives her student teachers are so good," let me know. I really need to know. I love to hear. And if I'm missing something, I would love to hear that as well. I can just tell you, just from being in the classrooms now, please say thank you to your kids' teachers. They're going through so much right now, especially in HISD. There's so many things changing. They are really trying their very best to be the best teacher for your kids, even though the administrators or the administration or the board is not supportive. So just say thank you. Send them little gifts. My students used to send me gifts all the time. The parents would send me, and it would make my day. It was the best thing ever, because they, it's just love, and everybody wants to feel loved. So thank you for listening. And if you really like the episode and you think it's helpful and you want to hear more, let me know. You can DM me on Instagram at Señora Vibes Podcast, or you can also at my personal at @the_Alicia E. Or also you can find me anywhere, email, phone, my website, alicialatasi.com. So yeah, let me know if it's helpful and if you like it, and if not, well, we'll just keep it moving. But I hope that you do enjoy these tips that I'm giving you. And if you want to hear anything else, I'm going to be doing a big event October 7th. I hope you can come. It's a podcasting event. It's for people who are influencers, content creators, bloggers, anybody who wants to be in podcasting or wants to learn about podcasting. Come on out October 7th. It's just going to be a great opportunity for you all to just sort of feel the energy of other people and other women that are just doing amazing things in the city and the state of Texas, and everything that we do. We really try to make it special and give you all as much value as we can. We're going to have a brand photographer doing photography. It's going to be fantastic. She's amazing. She's one of my favorites, and she's doing me a huge favor by doing this. And so keep an eye out for that. It's on Eventbrite, Texas Podgals Experience, and I will talk to you soon. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you all so much. It's not easy to get on and record every single week, but I do it because I really love my audience and I love you all, and I feel like there is so much that I can share with you, and that's what I'm here for.
Open up your heart, what do you feel? Open up your heart.